Hello. I'm going to do something a little odd here. I'm going back to an earlier journal where it looks like I recorded it, but I didn't. The journal said one thing, but then I recorded a live video. And so I want to clarify that. And the journal itself deserves posting. So that's what I have here. It was called War Tears, or PD Beater and Disclosure. I'm going to change that name. It's all about time traveling, and it's time traveling the world wars. I was doing a good bit of time traveling at that time. Um, the dolphins had taken me to several incarnations. I got to watch myself as an old African man um, being consumed by lions and some other things. And then I was listening to the audio letters of Dr. Beater and began to have reincarnation memories. And something really interesting came of it. So I want to share this. Um, Time Traveling the World Wars. It's from February 11th, 2010, the second journal of that day. And it was the Mayan day was 13 Vulture, or wisdom. 13 is the day of ascension. Um, the following day after a 13 is always a 1. Oh, I have tears flowing down, and for far different reasons than my joy over the dolphin beings, or just the general joy of being. Have you heard of the late Dr. Peter David Beater? Oh my God, his work is both so very precious, his audio letter series, and so very difficult to listen to or to read. Through his perfect background and placement in his work life, he was in an ideal position to behold the behind the scenes machinations of the world politics of the hidden power machine, in control of both finances and politics, and cold to the point of insanity, a very cold and deliberate core. The Rockefellers and crew and their ilk in other nations fashion world events from their tidy power centers unseen. Dr. Beater saw this, though. He set out to expose this hidden agenda, mixed into every news story, to the little people, to you and me. He did all he could to address it directly with the people involved, with some limited effect. But when he saw how the land lay, he took his message direct to the public. From the summer of 1975 through the winter of '82, the brave doctor shared the fruit of his wisdom and experience. There is so much meat in these works that I am quite amazed that they bypassed the censor's axe. I wonder if the good doctor did. He crossed over in spring of '87 at only 65 years of age. At any rate, the information is quite shocking. I'll provide a link to it with this journal blog. His work is available both in text and in audio format, including audiobooks, in addition to the letters. They're free. So, to my tears and the why of them, and heck, feel free to just tune out here, as this seems somewhat self-indulgent to be sharing this. Still, it is a part of my process, which I seemed destined to do somewhat publicly. So here goes. First of all, I listened to his tape number 40, which laid out what was the real deal behind the supposed mass suicide of the Jim Jones group in Guyana. It was anything but, and it was both cold and horrifying. This led me to a sufficient interest in what the doctor had to say to go back and listen to his first audio letter, which detailed the behind-the-scenes dealing leading to both world wars. Oh my God. It is so coldly, deliberately, I don't have a word here, sickening perhaps. No word could contain the calculated perfidy. At first, I thought I could kind of isolate myself from the horror of it, considering it was in the past, not current, and so on. Ha! Time is not like that. I guess I had forgotten. All time is now, is one, is simultaneous as we rise in the dimensions. Thus, as the horror of the various actions and the strategy that produced the major battles unfolded, I began to sicken. Finally, it broke through to me. I am in those wars. I lost my life in one, maybe both of them, and lost dearly loved ones too. Thus, the deep pain and sorrow of those lives came breaking through my calm, bland front, and I felt their pain. My lives, and the many who were lost so terribly, I won't say unnecessarily, though that is a temptation, but that is a judgment, and we don't judge when we're in heart. So, as I felt our lives merge and converge, I gave vent to their terrible pain, their sorrow and confusion. I cried and felt it with them. But then, thank Source, what began to happen as I watched was that the current life's understanding began to flow forth into those others. And I shared with them my added understanding and soul development. Thus, did some healing flow forth through the pain. I invited them all up to join me here in a higher level of both understanding and being, a deeper level of being. And thus was the gift of this particular pain uncovered and shared about. Pain is always a gift, my friends. Now, I ended the journal there, or I thought I did, but then I found myself coming back. Okay, I thought I was finished here, having said what was said, but Spirit has brought me back to this to add a bit more. Spirit showed me how some, out of the goodness of their dear hearts, or of what they thought was that, would try to have these kind of experiences for themselves